Welcome everyone to another Tracks on Sundays. I'm Tracks the Max, and this is not going to be the normal video of the day. As you can see in the background here, this is going to be talking about the Pokemon Championships in London, the EUIC. This is a huge tournament, like probably the biggest tournament in Europe for anything Pokemon related. So you have the trading card game going on there. You have the VGC. You have Pokemon Go. You have Pokemon Unite. There's going to be a pop-up Pokemon Center there, etc. It's just a huge event, right? Why am I telling you all this? Well, because my family and I are going there in 2 weeks, I believe. Yeah, 2 weeks from now. So not next weekend, but the weekend after that. And obviously, I'm super excited about that. And I've been preparing a lot of stuff to be able to go there. Most of you know that I used to be a Magic the Gathering player. I played for 14 years, went to a lot of Grand Prix, played against a lot of the best players of the world. It was my life, basically, right? Now, fast forward a couple of years, and Magic has been making some really weird decisions on how they treat their customer, their player base, and just in general. And I didn't really enjoy that much, and well, kind of left that behind me. I still have a lot of decks and cards and stuff like that, but I just don't really. I don't know. It's something that if you step on the toes of your players too much, eventually they're just gonna say, forget about it. As a lot of the raid players who might be watching this know that Plarium is kind of like this in the same way, but I think Wizards actually went even further than Plarium has ever gone. So I don't want to get into that too much. This is basically about Pokemon and not about Magic the Gathering. But what I wanted to say is that my son is 6 years old. My oldest son is 6 years old, and he has started to show interest for the game, right? And naturally, I'm connected to these card games, like a bee on honey, you could say, right? And I've played the game a little bit in the past, but I was always just more focused on Magic the Gathering. But now I recently dipped into this and found out that the game is actually pretty cheap to start playing. You can pick up like a deck for under $50 and you have like an S tier deck. You have a deck where you can actually win something like EUIC with, for instance, which makes it, nice to get into, right? Because a lot of these games just cost you $1,000 straight out of the gate. This game is really cheap. Participating costs more than my deck, for instance, but the prizes you can win are pretty huge. I believe like the first spot gets like $75,000 or something, and top 32 still gets like $2,000. But mind you, there's going to be about 3,000 players there, so it's not like it's going to be an easy task or anything. But I'm just saying the prizes are reasonable, so there's a lot to fight for, but also it's just going to be a lot of fun. Now, I am a noob in this game, okay? I have been playing this for a couple of months. I mean, I've played it in the past, but I was never really following meta or looking at what decks are good or whatever, like I played it somewhat casually. Now I'm trying to take it serious, and I've been watching a lot of YouTube, I've been watching a lot of games, any big tournament, try to follow up and see what's going on, etc. And yeah, this is going to be my second tournament ever. And I'm already going to be trying to do one of the biggest tournament in Europe for this specific game. So it's pretty exciting, also kind of overwhelming, but I do have the advantage that I've actually been to Grand Prix in Magic before, like 2,000, 3,000 player tournaments. I've been there. I went to Tokyo, well, Shiba in Japan, where there was a huge Grand Prix. You know, like I've been among a lot of players, and that part of the thing doesn't really overwhelm me anymore. But the uh yeah, I'm probably lacking the experience of the game specifically, right? So like some basic things that maybe people see immediately, I'll have to think a little longer about that. So hopefully, because all the games are on time, I'm going to be able to finish my games on time. But yeah, really, really exciting. Um, so why today this video about this? Well, I have a deck right now which is ready. However, today, actually yesterday was my birthday, which led me to buying a booster box of the new set. I have it right here. I don't know if I could show you it with the lighting here, but it's the new booster box of Temporal Forces, which is the newest set of Pokemon. I got this kind of for my birthday as a birthday present, but not without reason. Basically, I need this bad boy here because we are facing a rotation of a certain block. But this means basically that there's like a little letter printed on the bottom of every Pokemon card, and that determines if you're allowed to play this set in the current format or not. And the E block is rotating out, which means we can't use those cards anymore. And there's a couple of E cards in my current deck that need to be replaced by cards that are in this set. Luckily, they are just uncommons, but there's also some very sought after, very rare cards in the set as well. They're called A-Spec cards, and you're only allowed to play one of these in your deck, but they're very strong. The effects that they have are very strong, and we're going to hopefully try and pull one of these out of this box too, and hopefully one that fits my deck as well, because otherwise I'm still going to have to find one of these cards before London. My deck needs to be submitted by the 1st of April. It is today the 22nd of March. Actually, it just became the 23rd of March an hour ago. But yeah, I have like about a week, right? So I thought to myself, you know what? Why not just do an opening of this box, and I can go over the cards with you guys, and we can, we can do this together, and something different than my normal Raid Shadow Legends routine, but gives me something to do, it's kind of like a shard pull video, I guess, but now we're going to be opening boosters and trying to find the cards we need to participate in this tournament. Now, whenever you pull a card that's like a good card, they call it a hit, right? So a hit would be a card that is either worth a lot of money or is a card that you can play in certain decks or whatever. Honestly, uh, this for me is right now just a overpriced way to fix the deck that I'm currently playing. That's really it. So I'm not. I'll be happy if I get some of these hits, right? But I'm not really looking for that. I'm actually just looking for specific uncommons that are in this set. And yeah, if you're going to EUIC by any chance, you're always allowed to come say hi to my family and myself. And yeah, I see you guys at EUIC, I guess. Peace. All right, so we got our setup here. Um, got our booster box right here. Temporal Forces. Can we get a good zoom here? That's the, what's his name again? It's basically like a new Raikou, has like a giraffe neck and stuff, right? So ancient and future powers endure. That's the man, I'm blanking out. I forgot their names. Here's a Verizon. I think this one's called Iron Leaves in this set. Basically, they all have like these different names and stuff. But most of them are pretty decent actually. Anyway, let's I also got these. So if we do get any hits, we can sleeve them immediately. These are like inner sleeves to put right over a card, and that inner sleeve plus the card can actually go into a playable sleeve for us. All right. Couldn't find a break knife anywhere. I'm sure we have them, but here we go. Let's open this up. We also have some cheerleaders here, as you can see. These were made actually by my mother-in-law. So that's pretty cool. She also made a Marill and a Azumarill. I actually really like the Azumarill, but I'm not sure where my son's put it. Right, here you go. So this is a box with 36 boosters in it. We are looking for the card Buddy Buddy Poffin, which is an uncommon. It's a card that can get you 2 basic Pokemon of 70 HP or less and put them into play. This is a very strong card to set up your first turn in certain decks. So that's basically the card that I'm after. Other than that, we're looking for some A-Spec cards. There's actually 2 really good ones that I want. Obviously, can only use one of the 2, but yeah, if we hit one of the 2, that's probably the one that I'm going to be playing, so I don't have to go look for the other one. I know that's not like optimal gameplay, but I think they're both kind of equally good. Just some are better in other situations and stuff. So I guess I'll put this box here a bit on the side so you can see the cheerleaders, right? So like that. Yeah, there you go. Take the first one out. There, what the boosters look like. Pearl Forces. So there's 10 cards in each of these. I'm not completely sure where the rare is. So I'm gonna look here and see. So Eat More, Yamper, Torcat, Grubbin, Hand Tripper. Now this is a card that gets played in control decks. Pretty good. Each player discards cards from their hand until they have 5 cards in their hand. Your opponent discards first. If a player has 5 or fewer cards in their hand, they do not discard. This is basically if you are playing a control deck and your opponent is trying to grow a hand and Iono their hand back so that you can't mill them, this card will kind of stop that. Decent card. We'll place it with the playables for now. Rapska. This is also pretty neat. Prevent all damage from and effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon due to your benched done to your benched Pokemon. Sorry. It's a stage 1 and it only has 70 HP, but this ability is actually pretty good. So we'll definitely put it to the side too. It's definitely a playable card. So Fortress, nothing too special there. Dun Sparse, Reverse Hollow. This is a pretty cool card as well, I'd say. Dun Sparse, he has this ability called Runaway Draw. So basically, once during your turn, you may draw 3 cards. If you drew any cards this way, shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. So it's basically like a protection against certain cards, like disruption cards like Judge or Iono, stuff like that. You can, run away and draw 3 cards. They shuffle back in your deck. If you get a Dunsparce back from that, you can place that back on a bench, and then like next turn you could evolve it again and do it all over again, right? So that's pretty cool. It has seen play in Japan already. I think it's a decent card for sure, and definitely once Bibarel rotates out of the format, this is probably going to be one of the better draw cards on a Pokemon. So pretty cool. Reverse Hollow Caldeo. Well, nothing too special there, I don't think. No. Fluttermane. That's a hollow Fluttermane, yeah. I don't know if they're always hollow. I assume they're not. So that's pretty cool. This is actually also a very playable card. Has the ability Midnight Fluttering. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon has no abilities except for Midnight Fluttering. So basically this can shut down stuff like Comfy in the Lost Zone decks. Pretty interesting. It's also a colorless attack, so basically you can play this card in any deck. You know, any deck that has energy basically can use this, which is really nice. So I guess we're doing it right. The rare is not in front or anything. Okay. So this was that Raikou thing again, right? So, all right, so Cutiefly, Drillbur. Wait, he has an ability here, but I'm not sure what it is actually. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 3 basic fighting energy cards and discard them, then shuffle your deck. That could be interesting for something. I'm not completely sure for what yet, but yeah, I'll put that with my playables for sure, because it's a rare ability, right? So you never know that they print some card that works really well with this or something. Rellor, Onita, Fortress, Vikavolt. This was pretty hard hitting, I believe. But he is a stage 2 Pokemon, so this attack does 80 more damage for each of your bench Charabugs. So if you have more of these on your bench, you could possibly, like, having 2 extra on your bench isn't unreasonable. So you could possibly do 280 damage for 2 energy, which I'd say that is pretty good, actually. Yeah, that sounds pretty strong. So we'll definitely put that on the side, because it looks like that could have some potential. Like, maybe not immediately, but there might be a deck at some point with this, for sure. Latias, no, doesn't really look like a playable card to me. Electivire, if your opponent has any water Pokemon play, this attack does 120 damage more. So 160 for 2 energy. Don't think that's great. No. Very conditional, which is never really good, right? A Meltan and a Koraidon. Koraidon is also an ancient Pokemon. This gets played in the ancient box deck, where for 1 fighting and 1 colorless energy, this attack does 30 damage for each of your ancient Pokemon in play. So basically, you can have this guy do 180 damage for 2 energy, which is, you know, that's pretty decent. You could probably set this up pretty fast too, I believe, but I'm not too familiar with the deck yet. I've played against it a couple of times, but yeah, we're gonna have to see how good this is. But yeah, another hollow looks really nice. Definitely gonna put a sleeve around that one. We haven't found the card we're looking for yet, so maybe this pack has it for us. Let's see here. Cottonee, Carvanha, Ekans, Turtwig. This Pokemon takes 20 less damage from attacks. That's pretty cool, actually, right? I'm gonna put him on the side too, because there is a Torterra EX in this set, which is pretty good. So this might be the Turtwig that we want to play with that. I'm not completely sure, but Explorator's Guidance, an ancient trainer supporter card. the main reason this gets played is because it has the Ancient on it. Look at the top 6 cards of your deck and put 2 of them into your hand, discard the other cards. The effect itself is not bad, to be honest. But, you know, if you have things like Professor in the format, which is just discard your hand, draw 7, this is probably worse. But this Explorer's Guidance really works well with these Ancient box decks, which always also have the Roaring Moon. If we pull one of those, I can explain why you want as many Ancient cards as possible. So here's one of the other ones, the future cards. This is an Iron Hands for future box, but I don't think they actually play this card in there. As Volt Wave, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed for 30 damage for 2 energy. That's not, you know, not too exciting. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an EX or a Pokemon V, you can do 160 for 3. That's also not very exciting. No, this card is not really that great. Probably not going to be playing that anytime soon. Morty's Conviction. You can only use this card if you discard another card from your hand. Draw a card for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Also very conditional. I'd say, like, you probably want to have a couple of copies of this card, but you probably don't need, you know, to stock up on them because it's not a very good card, to be honest. You might see like niche play in some kind of deck or something, but right now I don't really see a reason to be playing that. Oh, I can spot a hit in the back there. So we have a Reverse Hollow Ekans, Brambleghast. Now I almost got destroyed by this card actually on ladder yesterday when I was playing. This Pokemon gets 50 HP for each prize card your opponent has taken. So this starts off with 100. They usually put some kind of tool card on it to give it more HP, right? Some capes or whatever. And then every time you knock one of these out, the next one's going to be stronger. And that really gets out of hand pretty fast. Like I fought like these 300 HP Brambleghasts and stuff, and you know that starts to be problematic when they have that much HP. The only downside to this card is basically that you need to flip a coin for each energy attached to this Pokemon, and it does 80 for each head. So to have this card realistically do, I don't know, like 160 damage or 240 damage, which knocks out most of the EXs, you would basically need 6 energy on this guy, right? And that's not the most efficient thing to do, throwing on this many energies on to your Pokemon. But nonetheless, the Resilient Soul effect is pretty strong. So I'm definitely going to be putting him into my playables here. And we have a Miraidon EX. Future, is this the alternate art or not? I'm not completely sure. It does look really nice. I'm gonna get this one into a sleeve though immediately. So this is an EX card. It has for 1 lightning energy, 1 psychic energy, repulsion bolt. If your opponent's active Pokemon already has any damage counters on it, this attack does 100 damage more, so that would be 160 for 2 energy, which is pretty strong. But it also has Cyber Drive, which is straight up 220 damage, but you can't use Cyber Drive on your next turn. So yeah, I think this is just a normal EX version of the card. I'm not completely sure. I'm also not sure if this actually gets played in any decks. I don't think it currently does. So it's, yeah, I don't know. But it is an EX. It is still a very powerful card, obviously. So we're definitely going to hold on to it. But for now, I don't really see a place for it, to be honest. A lot of junk here. Okay. Beldum, Heatmore, Roly-Coly, Azumarill, Rapidash, Boltant. Mudsdale. This attach basic energy for me. No. There's a fighting card in this set, I believe, that is pretty good, but it's not this one. Another Fluttermane. So that's our second one. This is actually, is this a reverse? Yeah, this is a reverse hollow one. So that's pretty nice. That means there's another rare in this booster pack. Looks really nice. So we got 2 Fluttermanes already. That's something. Saw's Book. I'm not sure what he does actually. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a stadium card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. I don't know how bad that is or how good that is. It's probably not amazing, but ooh. Now here's what they would say and what they would call a hit. Incineroar EX, full art. Yeah, that is a beauty right there. I don't know if this card is actually worth anything or anything like that, but I mean, who cares, man? Look at that. That is a nice looking card. I think the card is actually playable. So he has this ability called Hustle Play. Attacks used by this Pokemon cost 1 colorless less for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So if they have 5 Pokemon, well, basically if they have 4 Pokemon on their bench, you can do for 1 fire energy, you can do Blaze Blast for 240 damage, which, you know, that's pretty good. And even if they only have 2 on the bench, doing 240 for 3 energy is really strong still. So yeah, maybe right now is not the time for this card to shine, but definitely hold on to these guys because I think they're still going to be pretty damn good in the future. 320 HP is also nothing to just laugh at. So yeah, very nice. Very nice. All right. I'm still looking for the Buddy Poffins and the A-Specs. Those are the cards we're still after here, so. All right, Chateau, or I'm not completely sure how you pronounce that one. Cottonee, Carvanha, Ekans, Great Tusk. Now here's another card that is actually a deck in the format. This guy creates a very annoying mill deck to play against. So it's basically this thing right here, Land Collapse. For 2 colorless energy, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. If you played an ancient supporter card from your hand during this turn, discard 3 more cards in this way. Actually, that one supporter card we saw earlier also gets played in this deck for the same reason, right? So for 2 colorless energy, you're milling the top 4 cards of your opponent's deck, which is really strong. So yeah, I believe this has had quite some success in Japan as well. And I mean, you could see why, because like it has 140 HP right off the bat, so that's kind of hard to get rid of. Put a capsule on there or something, right? And you're already looking over 200 HP on a basic Pokemon that is milling your deck at a rapid speed, right? So very good card. Definitely want 4 of these to try and build that mill deck. Bronzong also has a very interesting ability, or attack rather, Evolution Jammer. So during your opponent's next turn, they can't play any Pokemon from their hand to evolve their Pokemon. Some of the decks will not care at all, right? Like if they only have basic Pokemon, they're not really going to care if they are able to evolve or not. But you do have things like Chinpao, Charizard, obviously. Anything that uses like Bibarel or Pidgeot EX, or there's a bunch of decks that do actually rely on their evolutions. Gardevoir is another one, for instance. There's another trainer card in the set where you can actually get this guy out on turn 1 and start using Evolution Jammer on your first turn, if you're going second, that is. And that could be pretty painful for your opponent to work around. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to put it with my playables for sure. Ancient Booster Capsule. So that's the thing I was talking about for the Great Tusk of earlier. It's a tool card. You can only, well, you can put it on any Pokemon, but the effect only works on ancient Pokemon. The ancient Pokemon this card attached to gets 60 HP extra, recovers from all special conditions, and can't be affected by any special conditions. The second part of that isn't super relevant, I don't think, in this meta, but 60 HP definitely is relevant. And yeah, really good card. Here's another one of those Iron Hands. Unfortunately, not very good in my opinion. Here's Bronzor. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a psychic Pokemon, does 40 for 1 green. Nah, not great. I hope there is a better Bronzor than this one, to be honest. And a Whimsicott. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may heal all damage from your active grass Pokemon. This is actually something that could be played next to Tortilla EX, since... Did I say Tortilla? I meant Torterra. Torterra EX. Since that thing has 340 HP, so if you evolve this, you just immediately heal that thing back up, which is kind of nice, but I don't know how good or strong it is. Really nice card, though. I like how the clouds in the background kind of shine. All right, I don't know how many boosters we got here. About 6, I guess, so... Still no Buddy popping. It's the #1 reason why I bought this booster box, so I really hope I'm getting that soon. Hey, dude. It's the Yamper. Grubbin, Medicham, Tranquil. Explorator's Guidance. Put that with the playables for sure. Colossal. So, nothing too special, I don't think. Perilous Jungle. During Pokemon checkup, put 2 more damage counters on each poison non-dragon or non-dark Pokemon. I'm sorry. Both yours and your opponent's. So that's pretty cool. Maybe some poison deck in the future could actually utilize that. Onida, Mightyena, another Fluttermane. So we're pretty set on the Fluttermanes. Don't need those anymore. All right, another Turtwig. Nice. We'll take that. I like this card. I mean, the art of this card is really nice. Uchina. Yeah, that looks cool. Wiglet. Even this one is pretty nice, I think. The art. Iron Treads. As long as this Pokemon has a future booster energy capsule attached, it's fighting and steel type. Yeah, I'm not completely sure. Like, I think they play this in some decks, but I'm not completely sure how good it is or what it can be used for. But here we have the Buddy Poffin I was talking about. So search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less and put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. We need 2 more of these at least. This is the card I bought this whole box for, basically. Which is insane, I know, but I just wanted to be sure that I had these cards before I headed to London and have to look for these things there. Zeraora. Discard an energy from this Pokemon. No, nothing special there, really. This looks kind of interesting. Since it's a stage 1 Pokemon doing 130 for 1 energy, that's not too shabby, really. Obviously the downside is every time it takes damage, it does less damage. But I don't know, still being able to dish out some good damage is always nice, I guess. Screamtail. This is not the Screamtail that you want to be playing. If you're playing Screamtail, you want to be playing the older one, which does a lot more damage. And Iron Valiant. This is also not a card that is currently being played, I don't think. Has the Majestic Sword attack for 3 energy. If you played a future supporter card from your hand during your turn, you do 200 damage instead of 100 damage. Which, you know, that's not horrible, but the problem is really getting the 3 energy on. Yeah, at that point, you probably just want to be playing something that really one hit KOs your opponent if you can get 3 energy on to your Pokemon. So I'm going to be putting it with the non-playables for now. Maybe in the future Pokemon will be doing better there, but all right. One of the Poffins down. So, Mr. Mime, Raichu, Victini, Bronzor, Unfazant, Airy. Alright, this is another supporter card that is really good and really annoying and gets played in. A lot of people just play a one-off Airy because it's just so annoying to deal with. So your opponent reveals their hand and you discard up to 2 item cards you find there. So like against the decks with the rare candies and stuff like that, you Airy them, they have to discard their candy. In combination with the TM Devo, you can do some really nasty things with this card. So definitely with the playables. Santa Court. Don't see a thing for that right now. Victini, not a very good one, I don't think. This is not the Grotle you want to be playing if you're playing Grotle. And another Miraidon EX. So, got 2 of those now. Again, unfortunately, this is not really the Miraidon that you want to be playing. I believe there's also a non-EX one in this set, and that's the one that you actually want to be playing. But nonetheless, if it becomes good in the future, we'll have it. All right. So for Frostmoth, Noctowl, Croconaw, Licky, Full Metal Lab. This is a pretty interesting stadium. So steel Pokemon, both yours and your opponent, take 30 less damage from attacks from the opponent's Pokemon after applying weakness and resistance. This format, we are going to lose Path to the Peak, which means that there's going to be less stadiums in play, which means a card like this might actually stay in play a little longer. So for that reason, this card is actually, you know, pretty decent in the steel decks. Unfortunately, steel decks aren't super amazing right now. You have like the Matang Dialga thing going, but I mean, that's not really an S tier or an A tier deck right now. However, I do think there's potential there, right? So we're definitely holding on to this one for sure. Golurk, not the best card, but it does have some really nice artwork on it, in my opinion. This attack does 60 damage to one of your opponent's benched EX. Not very good. There's another Morty's Conviction Reverse Hollow. Not great, but definitely hold on to it. Salvatore is the card that you want to be using with Bronzong. So this supporter does search your deck for a card that has no abilities and evolves from one of your Pokemon. Put it onto that Pokemon to evolve it, then shuffle your deck. You can use this card on a Pokemon you put down when you were setting up to play, or on a Pokemon that was put into play this turn. AKA, you can do this on turn 1, play Salvatore, Bronzong up your Bronzor, and use that annoying ability on your very first turn. So, very cool card. I'm not sure how good it's going to be, but definitely playable. So, there's another Dunsparce. We went over that one. And energy. D-Dot. Hey. It's actually one of those knit C-Dots or knit Pokemon as well. So I'm going to have to give this card to my mother-in-law so she has something else to work on. Put that one aside too. Maybe next time I do one of these videos, you can see the C-Dot on the background here too. Deerling, Pidove. Oh yeah, Pidove has a cool ability going for it as well. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon's remaining HP is 30 or less, you may search your deck for Unfazant or Unfazant EX and put it onto this Pidove to evolve it. Then shuffle your deck. I'm not I'm not 100% sure how you would get the damage onto it, but I'm sure there's some ways to do it, right? And if you can do that, and there's a good Unfazant EX or other Unfazant, this could be a very powerful way to evolve this thing. It doesn't even say you can't do it on its first turn or anything. So you could literally just play this, get the damage counters onto it, and evolve this thing into its stage 2 Pokemon just like that. Like, I mean, there has to be something there, right? If not now, definitely in the future, there's going to be something we can use this ability for, because that is a very strong ability, actually. So we'll put this little bird to the side for now. Sharpedo, not the best card, but again, pretty cool artwork. It almost looks like it's foil, but it's not. Or hollow, I mean. Sorry if I use Magic the Gathering terms, but I played that game way too long. This looks like a planet in the background or something, right? Looks like he's just flying in space or something, or like flying out of the sea in front of the moon. Yeah, that's a sick card, dude. Doesn't even look like Pokemon, does it? Be something cool for on your surfboard or something. All right, a Metagross. During your next turn, this Pokemon's Meteor Mash attack does 60 more. Not the best. 200 damage for 4 energy. I don't know, man. Doesn't look amazing to me. Roserade. Not great either. Licky Licky. Behemoth. For 1 psychic energy, this attack does 20 damage for each of your Pokemon in play. So 120 for 1. Also not too shabby. I don't know how good it is though. And here's the Miraidon that you actually want to have. This is the good one. This is the standard Miraidon, 110 HP, but it has this ability here, Peak Acceleration. So for 1 colorless energy, search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to your future Pokemon in any way you like, then shuffle your deck. Does 40 damage for 1 energy. Now, there is a card in the set that will, it's a basic Pokemon and it will boost the damage of your future Pokemon. And you can have this thing be doing like 120 on turn 1 for 1 energy. Also setting up your next Pokemon on your bench. Very, very good card. I'm definitely going to sleeve this one, even though it's, you know, it's just a standard Miraidon. It is probably one of the better cards of the whole set. So if you ever want to play that deck, we have one of these going for us already. It was really nice. All right, can we pull ourselves an A-Spec or some more Buddy Poffins? That's the question. All right. The Poochyena, Wiglet, Meltan, Seedot, Shiftry. Not sure what this guy does. Choose 3 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. If you do, shuffle all of your opponent's bench Pokemon that you didn't choose and all cards attached to those Pokemon into their deck. Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure how great that is, to be honest. Heal all damage from one of your Pokemon that has 30 HP or less remaining. That doesn't sound very good to me. What is this? Iron Jugulus. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, even if this Pokemon is knocked out, put 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. Not great. Noctowl. All right, Chichino. So this is a good card. Played in Lugia decks. So what is good about this thing? It's a stage 1, but the second attack special roll does 70 damage for each special energy card attached to this Pokemon. So in Lugia, you can actually set this up to be doing things like 350 damage and stuff like that. That's a lot of damage on a single prize Pokemon. So that's why this card gets played currently in that deck. And here's another Iron Valiant, but again, I'm not really seeing it right now. 200 damage is quite a lot, but it's probably also pretty hard to set up. So the Chichino I'm happy with though. Reverse Hollow Chichino, pretty cool. I believe there's also a full art Chichino in this set. I'm not completely sure about that. Mudbray, Ghastly. Is that a good Ghastly? No, not really. Does have a lot of HP though. Ghastlies tend to have not crazy HP, if I remember correctly. Finizen, Dunsparce, Buddy Buddy Puffin. There we go. Number 2. That's what we need. Iron Treads, Box Order. Search your deck for up to 2 item cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Your turn ends. Not the best card, but like if you don't really have anything else to do on turn 1, it could be okay, right? So I'm definitely gonna pick up a couple of these, but I'm not sure how good they're gonna be. It kind of forces your opponent to Judge or Iono or something like that too, right? So Vikavolt, Medicham, Macargo. What does this guy do? Whenever your opponent's active Pokemon moves to the bench, their new active Pokemon is now burned. I don't know. Looks really nice, but other than that, I don't think it's super good actually. All right, got 2 Buddy Buddy Poffins, 1 more at least, and we're set for London. Other than that, we still need an A-Spec card to go into our deck. I mean, it's not obligated to have the thing in your deck, obviously, but it's just so powerful, you would be pretty stupid not to put one into your deck, right? All right, so Pineco, Mawile, Meditite, Turtonator. Not sure what this guy does. Okay, he can get some damage onto the bench, but nothing amazing. This isn't very good either. Eldio, Delmise. Let's see here. 160 for 3. Not amazing. Torracat, Skitty, and a Roaring Moon. All right, so this is a key player in the Ancient box deck. Like you can see here, Ancient on top here. Basically for the first attack here, Vengeance Fletching. This attack does 10 more damage for each Ancient card in your discard pile. So 70 right off the bat for 2 energy, and for every Ancient card in your discard, you do another 10. Most of the time, this thing is only going to be doing like 130, 150, but as the game progresses, right, near the end, you are one-shotting things like Charizard with this. So doing over 300 damage, which is really nice. It's just a decent single price attacker. Has some decent HP, good damage, and yeah. Fun card for sure in the Ancient box deck. Let's see what this one gives. Hoot Hoot, Beldum, Breloom, Roly Coly, Iron Hands, not very good. Rescue Board, that's a good card. Tool card, retreat cost of the Pokemon this card is attached to is 1 colorless energy less. If that Pokemon's remaining HP is 30 or less, it has no retreat cost. So, pretty cool. Sandy Shocks gets used in the Ancient box deck just to have some extra attackers. Usually they just do the magnetic burst, right? So 20 plus 70 for 1 energy is pretty nice if you can pull that off. 90 damage for 1 energy. And we have our first A-Spec card, but this is draw a card for each of your ancient Pokemon in play. Pretty good. The Ancient box deck. But it's not the card that I was looking for, unfortunately. Still, though, we have one. So that's pretty nice. Pick these back up here. Roserade's not very good. And there's one of those Bramble Gas things again. Definitely hold on to those. If we ever need to build that deck. So not the A-Spec that we were looking for, but definitely a playable A-Spec, which is nice. I mean, they're all playable, but they're not equally good, I don't think. Kitty, Electabuzz, Bramblin. I guess I'll put that with the Bramble Ghast since I don't think I picked any of those up yet. Another Great Tusk, so got 2 of those already. That's another Salvatore, nice. Beldum, Centicorch, Coridon. So I think we picked up 2 of those now too. That's pretty cool. Looks like they really want us to be trying out the Ancient box with this booster box, huh? Let's see here. Bronzor, Mightyena, Dual Vision, no, Dual Scion, Haunter, another Salvatore, Elephant, another Screamtail, Turtwig, Reverse Hollow, a Haunter, Iron Valiant. Man, I have 3 of those already, and again, not too amazed by the thing. Girafarig, attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. I'm not sure how good this one is, though. I know there's an EX in set that works well with it. Cutiefly, another one of those Drillburs, another Bronzong, Screamtail, Drampa. This isn't a good card, but I low-key collect Drampas, so definitely gonna put this reverse hollow Drampa aside. Looks really cool. He's just such a goofy Pokemon, man. Like, what in the world is that even? Boltund, and oh, there you go. There's the Torterra EX that I was talking about. Pretty nutty attack here with the Forest March for 1 grass energy. This attack does 30 damage for each of your grass Pokemon in play. So basically you can do 180 damage for 1 grass, which obviously knocks out things like Charizard and Roaring Moons and stuff like that, right? Anything that's weak to grass, you just one-hit KO with 1 grass energy if your bench is full with grass Pokemon. But that shouldn't be too hard because the Grottle that you play actually lets you get a grass Pokemon once per turn. So you have some decent setup for this card for sure. Right now, I haven't seen too many successful decks with this card, but it doesn't mean that this card is not going to see play, because I'm 100% sure it will see play at a certain point. It has 340 HP. For 1 mana, it does 180 damage, you know. Attach a tool card to that, you could be doing 230 damage for 1 grass energy, which is pretty sick. So yeah, not bad. Really good card. Pikachu. Hey, I don't remember seeing Pikachu. Ghastly, LGM, Sizzlypede, Heavy Baton or Baton or whatever or however you call it. This card gets played in decks with Iron Hands, so you attach this to Iron Hands. If your Iron Hands gets knocked out, if the Pokemon this card is attached to has a retreat cost of exactly 4, like Iron Hands, is in the active spot and is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, move up to 3 basic energy cards from that Pokemon to your benched Pokemon in any way you like. So basically it's a kind of like a security net, right? Like if your Pokemon gets knocked out, you can place the energy onto your bench so you don't lose all the acceleration and stuff like that that you had to do to get the energy onto your Pokemon. Very good card, very cool. Iron Valiant Future. This is a different one than the other one, right? Yeah, this is also an uncommon. For some reason, Gemini Laser looks better than the other attacks on the other Pokemon. I'm not really sure how good it is, though. Another Sandy Shocks, sure. Bramblin. Another Roaring Moon. This time it's a reverse holo. That's pretty cool. Those are a little more rare than the normal holos, if I'm not mistaken, since it's a rare card. That's pretty nice. So we got 2 of those too, which means almost have the play set for that. Melmetal, that's the rare of this pack. Unfortunately, not super amazing. Right. Next one. That card that I just showed you on this pack, by the way, that's a pretty decent card as well. Sees play in a couple of decks for sure. Rellor. I've never even seen this Pokemon before. Ponyta, Gato, Adani, Zeraora, Iron Valiant, again, Sharpedo, Explorer's Guidance, Reverse Holo. Nice. Chateau, Reverse Holo, and a Whimsicott. Marill, Gauntlet, Dunsparce, Snom, Reuniclus. Never seen that card before. Mist Energy. Oh, that's another one of the pretty good cards of the set. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides colorless energy, prevents all effects of attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to the Pokemon this card is attached to. So basically, like Roaring Moon EX, for instance, has a attack that just kills a Pokemon and does 200 damage to itself. Well, Mist Energy will prevent that, for instance. So that's pretty nice. Sawsbuck, Rockruff, Excadrill, and a Iron Thorns. No, this is not really good, right? Not amazing. Let's see here. Oh, I already saw what we're getting. Whoops. Well, Carvanha, Ekans, Turtwig, that's nice. Puccina, Metagross, Roserade, Keldeo, Shroomish. Carvanha, oh, that's a pretty cool looking one too. Kind of mad. And another Roaring Moon for us. Not sure how much these are worth or whatever, but it is a very good card, so I'm definitely going to sleeve it up because it's going to be played at a certain point for sure. There you go. Another one of these. Let's see what we get. Another Snom, Pikachu, Scyther. Haven't seen him yet, I don't think. Sizzlipede, Rimbombi. I've not seen that one either yet. I guess it's in uncommon, that's why. Future Booster Energy Capsule, very good in the future deck. Future Pokemon this card is attached to has no retreat cost, and the attacks it uses do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Very strong. Iron Hands, unfortunately not great. Heroescape, now this is a spec I might actually use. Gives your Pokemon 100 HP extra. Very strong. Can make it very hard for some Pokemon to deal with your Pokemon, right? So definitely sleeving this one up. If people are not playing Vacuum, this thing is actually going to be, you know, pretty annoying for a lot of decks to deal with. Like Iron Hands decks and stuff like that, suddenly they can't knock your Pokemon out because you have 100 HP more. Just really solid, and especially if Vacuum doesn't get played anymore. I think control decks like Snorlax and stuff will definitely play Heroescape. Giving your Snorlax 100 HP extra is pretty annoying to deal with, right? Same thing with the Mill deck, right? With the Great Tusk, giving that thing 100 extra HP, puts it at 240. Pretty strong card. Definitely happy with that one. Rapidash and for Relegator. Relegator is pretty cool too. Once during your turn, you may put 5 damage counters on this Pokemon. If you do, during this turn, attacks used by this Pokemon do 120 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, which means for 2 water energy, you can be doing 280 damage. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't use Giant Wave, but I mean, normally you should have probably knocked your opponent's Pokemon out already, right? So, interesting. I don't know how good it is, but I'm definitely gonna hold on to it and put it with the playables because, well, 280 damage for 2 energy is just really strong. So this is the Suicune, right? The special Suicune. Forgot what it's called in this set. Still need to learn all the names by heart. So we got Hoothoot, we got Beldum, Breloom, Rollicoli, Electivire, another Chinchino, nice. If I ever want to make Lugia deck, I'll need 4 of these because this card is just really bonkers in that deck. Insane. Another Future Booster Energy Capsule, nice. Raichu, I don't think I've seen this one yet, which is weird because it's just a common, but yeah. Ooh, and a full art Snom. That is really nice. We will definitely put that aside. Look at that. It looks like a little ice crystal. That is a nice card, man. That's definitely what they call a hit, right? Cool. And the rare was a Relicanth. Also pretty playable. I don't think I actually read it the last time, but basically each of your evolved Pokemon can use any attack from its previous evolutions. You still need the necessary energy to use the attack, obviously. But with that one card of earlier, the Incineroar EX, right? One of the previous attacks of the, I think from the stage 1 evolution, is a pretty hard-hitting attack for 2 energy. I believe it does like 20 damage for each damage counter on that Pokemon. Definitely playable. Maybe not in this current format, but when things shift, it should be a lot better. All right, so we got Wiglet, Arbok, Edot, Photodial, another Iron Jugglist, not really great. Delmise, Electivire, Ekans, Rabska, and another Feraligatr. This one's gonna be it, guys. I grabbed this at the back of the box. This is gonna be the one. We're cheating a little bit here and doing the last pack magic thing. This is gonna be it. I can feel it. All right. So, Breloom, Rollicoli. Wait, what? I didn't even know that was possible. Rollicoli. Heatmore. Reuniclus. Explorer's Guidance. That's playable, so we put it aside. Latias. Gauntlet. Perilous Jungle. And Koraidon. Not bad, but not super amazing either. Let's be real. I've heard the average per box of A-Specs is 2 A-Specs per box. And we already got our 2 A-Specs, so that's kind of unfortunate. But Shroomish, Lickitung, Slugma, Solicis, Rapidash, Boltant, Mudsdale, Meditite. Have we seen this one yet? What is he doing? Standing for to give a kick, looks like. It looks like a Smurf. Frostmoth. Oh, and there is the... Wait, my cards are falling down. No. There is the Raging Bolt. That's what his name is, Raging Bolt. So that's the called the Raikou of the set, basically, right? Raging Bolt EX. He has Bellowing Thunder, which you may discard any amount of basic energy from your Pokemon. This attack does 70 damage for each card you discard this way. For 2 energy, a electric and a fighting energy, you can do that. So discard 5 energy, do 350 damage, basically. It's fine, right? But I think it's pretty hard to set up, to be honest. The idea is cool, but discarding, 4+ energy every single turn to be able to attack is not optimal. Girafarig, Rosalia, Beautyfly, another Drillbur, Unfazant. That's one of the Unfazants that we have right now, but that one's not really great. So another Eerie, very good card. Centiskorch, Puccina, Hoot Hoot, and another Relicanth. Sure, why not? We're running low on booster packs, guys. We're almost through the whole bunch. I believe I still need one Buddy Buddy Poffin, so hopefully we can find that one. Ferdinator, Hoot Hoot, Beldum, Morty's Conviction, Shiftry. Oh, I do see something here. Bianca's Devotion and... Dude! Another Awakening Drum? Come on, man. I can only use one in the deck. Well, I guess I have some trade now, huh? Somebody needs an Awakening Drum. I got one for them. Man. Like, that's, it's a good card, but I mean, you don't need two, man. Come on. Keldeo and, oh, the Miraidon. Now, that's a card I'm more excited about, actually, because that's a pretty decent card. So, we'll sleeve that one up, too, real quick while we're at it. There you go. That was a good booster pack. Scyther, Skitty, Electabuzz, Bramblin, Explorer's Guidance, Colossal, Perilous Jungle, Noctowl, Mobile, another Drampa. Yeah. This is a holo, and the other one was a reversed holo, right? So I guess I'll keep this one too. At least I have both. I think there's also a full art of Drampa. Would have liked that one instead of these, but hey. I'm more of a player than a collector anyway, so. Marill, Gollet, LGM, Meltan, another rescue board, nice, Sandy Shocks, Hand Trimmer, playable, Colossus, and a Faraf Giraffe. A Faraf Giraffe EX. Now, this is a pretty cool card and playable. It has this ability, Armor Tail. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's basic Pokemon EX. So stuff like Roaring Moon EX. What else do we have? Like Chin Pao, stuff like that. They can't do damage to this thing. Just nothing. Zip. Nada. Yeah, its ability here, Dirty Beam, is also not too shabby. It does 160 damage, and it does another 30 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So you can slowly, like, you can 2-hit a EX to death, and then in the meanwhile knock out like a small Pokemon on their bench or something if they can't get rid of this and they have an EX in the active. So pretty cool card. It has seen play in Japan a little bit, but definitely something that's going to be used in the future, I'm sure. All right, Deerling, another Pidove, Pineco, Mawile, Another Chinchino, nice. Sableye, another Great Tusk. Azumarill, Roserate, and another Macargo, not very good. We have 5 boosters left here. And then we are finito. So, actually, let's do a check real quick. I think we need one more Buddy Buddy Poffin. Oh no. I only pulled 2 Buddy Buddy Poffins? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. These are the only ones I'm finding right now. Really? Okay, I need at least 3. I've been playing a little bit online and I've been using 3, and that seems to be like a good number. But I mean, I need at least 3. Oh, here's the Matang, the new one. This is a really good Matang, by the way. So, has this ability, once during your turn, you may look at the top 4 cards of your deck and attach any number of basic Steel Energy cards you find there to your Pokemon in any way you like. Shuffle the other cards and put them on the bottom of your deck. So, top 4, if there's any energy, whoop, you can put them on your Pokemon any way you like. Doesn't even have to be Steel Pokemon, by the way. That's probably pretty important. I don't know if it's important right now, but it's probably important for something. But also, like, the cards that you looked at go to the bottom. So if you have 2 Matangs, you can look at the top 4 again. And, you know, chances are you're probably going to hit at least 1 energy with 2 Matangs in play. So a really good card. Carkol, Grottle, Venison, Bayanka's Devotion, Juggless, Lycanroc. Huh. I haven't seen this one yet, but it's also not super good, actually, so doesn't matter. Grubbin, Merrill, and a full art Gengar EX. I believe this is a deck as well, but I'm not completely sure. But if it's not a deck, it's still a pretty cool card. I will take that one. That's what they call a hit as well. Sleeve it first. So it has this ability, Gnawing Curse. Whenever your opponent attaches an energy card from their hand to one of their Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. The attack is 2 dark energy tricky steps for 100, does 160 damage, and you may move an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon to one of their benched Pokemon. I believe they just play stuff like hammers and stuff and ways to discard your opponent's energy, so you just make it very hard for them to actually play anything, and if they do play anything, they get damage counters and stuff like that. Not sure how good the card is really, but at least it looks pretty cool, right? But 4 boosters left for Buddy Buddy Poppin'. Are we gonna get it? Are we gonna get the card that we're looking for? Shroomish, Lickitung, Charjabug, Slugma, Golurk, Shaman. Ooh, that's also a playable card. I forgot about the card even because we didn't. This is the first one I've seen actually. Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking. Search your deck for 2 cards, shuffle your deck, and put those cards on top of it in any order. Basically, if you play this with something like a Bibarel, for instance, you can basically just go tutor up 2 cards, put them on top, and you're gonna draw them off your Bibarel, right? So pretty cool card for sure. Sableye, Breloom, the Dunsparce again. To draw some cards, but we are down to 3 packs now. Come on, guys. I really don't want to go looking for these Buddy Buddy Poffins because everyone is looking for them right now, so they're really hard to come by. Frostmoth, Noctowl, Croconaw, Licky Licky, Iron Hands, Morty's Conviction, Shiftry, Minccino. This is not the Minccino you want to be using, by the way. You want to be using the older one. since it has a call to family, which can get you 2 basic Pokemon on your bench, which is a lot better than this one. Latias, and another Fluttermane. That's my 4th one. So I guess we have a playset Fluttermane if we ever want to be playing the Ancient Box deck. This is going down to the wire, it seems like, folks. I don't know if I'm going to have the Buddy Poffins that I need, which is pretty annoying because I really hope to have it with 1 booster box, but apparently there's a lot of Metal Lab, a lot of uncommons in the set. Iron Boulder EX. Don't know anything about this card actually. The future card, 240 HP during your opponent's next turn. If this Pokemon is damaged by an attack, put 8 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. I saw this card actually in a couple of lists. Yeah, I'm not completely sure how good it is actually. I'm not a fan of these during your opponent's next turn kind of things, because that means they just have too much control over their next turn, how they're gonna go about it, right? Instead of just be like, hey, I'm knocking your Pokemon out right now. But it might have some use. Oh boy. Here's my last booster pack. I really, really, really need a Buddy Poffin, so. But I'm not too hopeful anymore that it's gonna happen. Eat more. Yamper. Torracat. Grubbin. Another Great Tusk. I think that is 4. Yeah, and that's an uncommon too, man. This needed to be Buddy Poffin, not Great Tusk. Delcatty, Explorer's Guidance. No. LGM, C-Dot, another Drampa. Oh no, man. We didn't do it. We didn't make it. We didn't make it. That is unfortunate. Full booster box. We got 3 A specs, but we weren't able to get 3 Buddy Poppins. What in the world? Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for that somewhere where I can find it, which is very unfortunate. But yeah, thanks for hanging on for so long. Hope some people enjoyed this who actually play Pokemon or whatever. Maybe you saw some cool cards that you didn't know existed, or maybe this gets you interested in playing Pokemon again. So we got ourselves 3 A spec cards, double Awakening Drum, and 1 Hero's Cape. So most likely I'm going to try and trade this one away. We also got one of those secret rares, I guess they're called, right? Something like that, right? The Snom, which is really nice. But I'm not really a collector, so I'll probably be trading that off to get cards for my decks as well. And then we got ourselves 2 full arts with the Gengar and Incineroar. Incineroar seems playable. Gengar, I'm not sure yet, but we'll have to see how that goes. Maybe in the future it will be a deck or something. And then we found ourselves 2 Miraidon EXs right here. Let's see if I can put that here. There you go. 2 Miraidon EXs. And we got ourselves Torterra, Raging Bolt, Ferragiraffe, and Iron Boulder EX. And those were the pulls of our booster box today. Thank you so much for hanging on there, watching the show. This is the first time I'm doing this, so my setup is not ideal. For the future, I'm definitely going to try and do a different setup where I can place my camera a little better and everything. Maybe the lighting isn't that great either. But yeah, this isn't going to be something I'm going to be doing often, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm mainly a Raid Shadow Legends player and make videos about that, so this was just an idea, a cool thing for my birthday that I thought, you know what, let's do something different for once. Why not? And voila. Hope you guys have a nice rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.